Well, welcome everyone, and excited to have you all here. Thanks to everyone who joined into our Pietra AI Assistance webinar. My name is Prince. I'm with the Pietra team. This is Ro, founder and CEO of Pietra. If any of you guys have logged into our previous webinars or actually came to our event over at Shopify's headquarters a couple of weeks ago, you would recognize a few of us here. But we're really excited to spend the next hour or so, guys, diving into everything that we have built over the last couple of weeks of helping make business easier for brands like you guys hopping onto the call. And so I'm going to start with actually handing over the mic to Ro, who's going to kick things off with a couple of slides. We'll then actually go into a product demo and spend a bit of time talking through that. We'll finish with a little bit of Q&A, and then finally we will, at the very end, let everyone know how to get early access to Pietra's new suite of products, our AI assistants. And so without further ado, I'll hand it over to Ro. Ro, want to take the mic and kick things off?
Thank you. I'm excited to be here and show everyone all the amazing things that we've been building. We're here to help small businesses all around the world make the most of all of this pretty exciting technology with AI. And I know it can be daunting at times, and there's so much information on the internet. And we are here to hopefully simplify that for you and actually turn that into something that you can use to push your business forward. Growing sales, cutting costs, we'll talk about all of it. And Sandrina, we see you. We are recording it, and we will be sharing it around. And I want everyone, I'll kick this off where Pete on Pietra's side is going to be moderating. So if you have any questions or anything, please put this in the chat. And we're more than happy to answer any questions. It's not meant to be a professor style lecture. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we'll do two things. I'm going to walk everyone through the technology and AI assistance as it relates to e-commerce and your business. And then we're going to jump into the product and talk about exactly how you can use this as soon as you are done listening to this call. So let's jump in here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And we're going to start with a really fun presentation. Okay, so you guys can see my screen. Get a thumbs up from my crew. Yep. All right. Okay, so let's talk about from the onset what AI can do for your company. And you should think about AI as a technology that will increase what you can do in a given workday. It will increase your output. And not just you, but your teammates as well. So this is not my favorite slide, but it's important for everyone in e-commerce to understand, which is running an e-commerce brand is extremely hard. And it's hard because there's a lot of people in an organization, and that costs a lot of money. As most of you probably know, hiring is the #1 cost center for a company. So the question becomes, how do you get through all the work that you need to do in a given day, most of it being busy work, and still have enough time to tend to your business and do the fun things? So when we look at a business, we see that 80% of the work that people do end up being busy work. You have to do it. It's very cumbersome and time consuming. Your to-do list is never ending. But you guys can smile, or I can't even really see you, but you guys can imagine where it's like one task is going to find creators and influencers to promote your brand for free. The other one is to improve pricing for your suppliers. The other one might be to make merch for an event that you want to throw. The other one could be, come up with 10 campaign ideas and advertising ideas. And this is all very, very hard to do in a single day. So what Pietra has done is we basically said, what if every business owner in the world can get access to an AI agent that is trained on what your company's goals are and your company's data? And you can then deploy these agents like you had an army of 1,000 people. You can deploy them for design. You can deploy them for procurement and sourcing. You can deploy them to help you with operations and the tasks, the day-to-day tasks. And of course, you can deploy them to help with marketing. So what does that mean, right? As once you get, after this call, everyone's going to get their own custom trained AI through Pietra for their business. What does this mean? Well, what it means is your AI agent gets trained on your data just like a new employee would. So it learns about your brand, your manufacturing processes, your logistics, your marketing. You have full control and privacy over how you train your agent. And then you get to deploy them by instructing them like a employee. So you can just go and say something like, now that you know about my brand, can you go ahead and help me find influencers for the 4th of July? I need to make some UGC. Go be smart and find me some content creators to help promote some products. And that is the world that we are building with the Pietra AI assistance platform. Is can you move into a world where agents run 24/7? They share a company brain that's oriented around your business. And your business partner or your business co-pilot has the ability to go complete repetitive tasks and report back to you, like a good employee would do. It can monitor all the business metrics and report back to you. Say, hey, website traffic just dropped on your website. Do you want to go fix it? Hey, sales is dropping on a specific product. I have some ideas. Do you want me to go work with you to try and fix that? It will go and read all of your social media data and get consumer sentiment and report back to you. It can discover these unique problems, propose a plan, and fix them for you. So you move into a world where you would normally get up and say, oh my God, my sales dropped. What should I do? And maybe you spend a couple hours that morning trying to figure out through all your dashboards and your metrics, what happened? What should I do about it? Now you're going to have an employee that was working throughout the night for you. And when you wake up, you have a full report of not only what business metrics fell below the line, but also root cause analyses and some proposals for how you might be able to fix it. And we'll get into that. So it's a very powerful thing to give all business owners around the world access to essentially an unlimited workforce. An unlimited workforce that is someone you would hire because they're super smart. They work 24/7 without complaining. They take no vacations. And you can now be the CEOs and the founders and the teammates that you've always wanted to be, where you don't have to work on the 80% busy work. You now have this army of digital workers that can do it for you. But you could focus on the true things that move a business forward, which is usually on the creative front, usually on the strategy front, et cetera. So it's a very exciting time to be a business owner. So before we jump into the product, let's actually jump into something that an AI agent on Pietra can do really well for your business. So let's say you want to scale up an influencer or an affiliate program, right? You don't want to pay an agency a lot of money. You don't want to hire a team and scale up costs. You need end-to-end automation. And guess what? You need to have a goal of, I want to find people to represent my brand and promote my products and grow sales. But I don't have time to do influencer discovery, outreach, manage the shipping, like logistics around that, then go set up an affiliate program and measure the results. It's very, very time consuming. You can maybe do one of those a week or a month. So let's see how an AI agent can do this in under 5 minutes for you, which is pretty remarkable. So here is one of my favorite slides, right? If you're not in e-commerce and you're not a brand owner, you probably think going to find influencers and making UGC is a pretty easy thing. But it actually takes a lot of steps. You have to make a creative brief. You have to research their personas. You have to create a short list. You got to reach out to them. You got to personalize your outreach, right? Then you got to coordinate with them. You got to contact them and approve them as an affiliate for your brand. You got to organize their shipments. God forbid something goes missing or is lost. And then at the end, you have to make sure that you're measuring what they're doing. Are they posting on time? When they post, is it actually helpful? What if I could tell you that an agent, an AI agent, can go and build all this for you just by instructing us something as simple as find me influencers for my Halloween campaign? It's pretty remarkable, right? That it can go and do all this for you. You took a team that might be 5, 10 people, and it's something you do with your morning cup of coffee in a couple of minutes through Pietra. So let's take a look at if I did actually go and say, help me find influencers for my Halloween campaign. What would it actually do? So I hit enter. And what your AI is going to do is the first thing it's going to do is create a creative brief. Remember, this AI agent understands your business. It knows your goals. It knows your tone of voice. It knows your target customers. It knows what works on social media for your brand. It also knows what your competitors are doing on social media and what doesn't work for your brand. It knows what ads are working well, et cetera. And it goes and puts together a creative brief that gets sent to influencers to be a part of an affiliate campaign. And if you look at the left-hand side, I know this is very fast, but we'll show you the product in action. You can see the left-hand side is the AI agent is going to go and actually go create individualized messages for all these influencers. It's going to go and reach out to them for you. It's going to attach the creative brief. And all you really need to do is sit back and watch people post about your product and promote your company. And everything that goes on underneath the hood, your affiliate program, your UTM links that you have to set up to measure it, the monitoring on social media when they post and when you get notified is all done automatically for you. So it's a pretty powerful process. And again, it's taking something that would normally take you 1 or 2 weeks and turning it into something that can be done in 5 minutes. You can deploy one of these agents a week, one of them a day, one of them an hour, and it's totally up to you. Because remember, these AI assistants that we call them are working for you, and there's an unlimited number of them. Okay, and before we jump into the product and kind of have some fun with that, I'm going to show you something that is really, really important. So after your AI agent has deployed itself, found influencers, used Pietra to ship your products to the customers, et cetera, it'll also go and create this amazing dashboard for you to look at, right? It's going to say, here are the videos that people are posting. I'm going to summarize the discussions underneath the comments for you. I'm going to talk about the products that they're promoting. And you get to, as a business owner, see the results without having to do any of the work. So you can see here the AI agent went and set up UGC tracking for the videos and summarized all of it in terms of, are people talking about product issues, shipping issues? Do they love the product? Do they have any questions? And it's also going and saying, I'm going to put all the influencers that are posting into a table for you so you can manage them. And you can see how much each one is actually helping your business. So the next time you want to go create a campaign, you can go use the people that were performing really well on the previous campaign. And here's an example of, we're going to jump into the product, but here's an end-to-end example of where AI can transform your business. Something that would have taken maybe $5,000 to $10,000 a month with an agency or a team of 3 to 5 people can be done in a couple minutes, and I'll show you live with just Pietra and your business. All right. So now the big question. Everyone's asking, why can't I just do this on ChatGPT? Well, there's one important thing that I like to remind everyone, which is ChatGPT is awesome. We love ChatGPT, but it can't actually help you get things done. It can tell you what to do, but unlike Pietra, it can't actually access the real world and do the important steps that take a lot of time. So you can see here on the left, I said, I'm looking for UGC creators to promote my brand. Can you go help me find some influencers? And what does it do? It gives me a couple of really, really important influencers or high subscriber influencers that I can maybe target. It tells me why they think at a high level they would fit their brand. It's not very personalized at all. And then at the bottom, it goes, why don't you go pay $10,000 a month for these products to go get it done? Versus on Pietra, the AI agent has the ability to actually execute on those tasks. So you could say, go find me influencers. And all you have to do is sit back and watch the task get completed. Not something that says, okay, I've done what I can. Now you go figure out the last 80% of it. So it's a pretty important and awesome distinction, which is you want to use AI to help you get things done and get answers to things that you normally wouldn't get through Claude or ChatGPT. Okay, final slide. This isn't just one AI assistant that you get through the platform. You can use these AI assistants, and we're going to talk about each one of them in a bunch of different ways, right? So for example, you can use an AI to find you new factories and negotiate with your suppliers. You can use it, like we talked about, to find influencers. But you could also use it to do things like make me a bunch of ads. It's really time consuming. Create an email marketing strategy for me. make it a 5-drip campaign and like do all the content for it. Do a first draft for me. You could tell it to make some reports that you could send to your boss. Hey, how's the ads campaign going this week? You can go tell the AI, hey, go pull my data and put together a report for me and send it to my boss. And there's all these little things that you guys are going to get access to, which I'm super excited about. Using when you guys use the product. And remember, the sky's the limit here. I want to make sure that everyone realizes that we're going to go through some small portion of some of the most popular agents. But the fun really starts when you can connect your own data sources and use it yourself to make your business a lot more efficient. All right. So I'm going to pause here, and I'm going to see that there's a lot of people that are asking some questions. Do you guys want to jump in and maybe field some of the questions here? And I see that people are saying my camera is blurry, so let me go and try and wipe this off if I can.
Yeah, no worries at all. Pete, let us know if there's any specific questions that folks are having about the product or about the experience. How do we get access codes to agents? Carly, I can take that one.
Mm-hmm.
We'll actually chat about this at the very end, but we are opening up access to these agents in early access to a select group of customers. And so we'll be sending out a calendar link to book a time for a call where we'll show you guys actually how this is tailored to your business. And then we'll give you guys an onboarding access code and start bringing people on one by one. So great question there. Katya Rowe has a question, is access free? Let's maybe, you want to answer that one?
Yeah, so access is free insofar as you can use Pietra, if you're a member, on free trial. So if you want to go and test out Pietra's AI agents, just go sign up. You get a 14-day free trial and you can get access to the agents. And I'll show you exactly how to do that.
Cool.
And before we jump into it, I want to take one of the comments here around Cameron. You are seeing, take a step and before we get into the product and a sales tool, really talk about where the market is heading. Right. And so the important thing that people should understand is kind of that first few slides that I set up with Cameron, which is fundamentally e-commerce businesses are having a tough time scaling up because costs are becoming very expensive. Or things are getting very expensive and costs are increasing. Hiring is very, very expensive. It used to be, 10 years ago, you might be able to hire a VA overseas that's really high quality. Now, even those platforms, when you hire a person to do a job, is very expensive, like several $1,000s a month. And the tools themselves in the ecosystem are also very expensive, right? It's been 10 years of people building these point solution SaaS tools. And they're solving specific pain points, but every year they increase their price by 10, 20%, whatever it might be. And so what happens to a business is their costs increase faster than they have ideas and execution ability for their sales to increase. So the costs on Facebook for ads increase, very, very quickly. You find yourself having to hire one person, then 2 people, then 3 people, then 10 people. And those costs stay on your books for a long period of time. What AI is able to do is take care of 2 big things, which is how do you scale up a business without the labor costs, right? And these tools can start acting like employees. They have reasoning ability. They have access to the underlying data and the tools to actually make things happen. So you start to see that a lot of these agents can replace agencies and people that do something. The second part of this is that you can actually get more done in a day. And so your organization's throughput can increase, right? It's still going to be built on how smart you are as a business owner and how creative you can be. That's not going to go away. But you are going to be able to go from I have an idea to I can execute on this and see the results faster and easier than ever before. So what they say is the way the industry is going is, the idea person has historically been the person that's like, cool, everyone has ideas, but it's really hard to execute on them. And we're going to see a switch. We're going to see these idea people having the ability to execute on all their ideas very, very quickly. And that becomes a very powerful thing for the industry, because we move from a world of you have to buy all this software, you have to hire all these people, to the people with the best ideas can execute on them very quickly at a very, very low cost. And they can get the answer to their question faster, and therefore they can go and hopefully go and build their business and grow it faster than ever before. Cool. Okay, so
well, thanks for going through those, Ro. And just in the interest of time, folks, I know there's a few other questions. Please keep asking them, and then we're going to add them into a Q&A queue that we'll get to at the very end. But just to make sure that we stay on track, Ro, why don't we actually go into a demo of the product and show folks what this feature and what these products actually look like?
Let's do it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. And you guys can see my screen. Yep. Okay. So here you could see the AI assistance platform. And so you can, I'm going to go back. I'm going to take a second. If you log into Pietra, you'll see the Pietra that you know and love. All the software and services that are offered are here in the middle. And if you click over on the left-hand side here, you'll see AI assistance. So if you click on it, and you could see here, this is a testing account, but you could see here that the AI agents have been configured to start helping your business. So we're in founder mode right now, and I'm going to go start in founder mode. And you could see that the agents have already been hard at work working for your business once you set it up. And we'll talk about what that setup looks like towards the end, because it's not that exciting. You could see that your agent has said, okay, there's an upcoming shopping event you should be on top of. I'm going to go look at your last day of sales. I'm going to see how much earned media value you generated from your posts. I'm going to see how many pieces of content actually touched your brand across social media, which we'll talk about, and how many individual engagements happen across those pieces of content, right? How many comments, how many likes, etc. So right away, you can start to see that your agent starts to become aware of what's happening in your business. You can see on the brand feed that it's monitoring your key business metrics. It's saying, hey, the sales dropped 70%, 76% more than last week. Do you want me to go help you try and figure out how we can fix it? And we'll get into how the AI can be used to give you those kinds of insights and help you fix issues. You could see in the middle of the screen a very familiar user interface where your agent is waiting for you to ask them questions and serve you, right? Serve you with data analysis, serve you with root cause analysis, or pulling any data that you might have, or even just pushing you towards different things that you can do to grow your business. So before we get into the predefined templates here, let's jump into a good example of something that you can ask your AI that understands your business. And we'll talk a little bit about how it has access to different things than the base models would have access to, like ChatGPT or Claude. So if I really want to ask, are my customer complaints spiking, right? Like that was one of the suggestions. You could see here that there's a familiar interface. Okay, you can now talk to your agent, and it will go and do the deep dive research on your business. So it's going to take about 30 seconds, but what I want to do is I want to show the group here the true power of this type of system for your business and this copilot for your business versus, oops, we're going to go here and start over. Let me go here. Let's go, are my customer complaints spiking? Do that again. Sometimes it's going to run out of context because it's looking at all your data. And so what it's going to do here is it's going to actually go and look back at all of your data. It's going to go and look at all your sales. You're going to see it go and look at all your social media data. It's going to look at your competitors. It's going to look at your comments on your feed. You can see here that it's looking at product issues and your brand on social media. And it's really going back and analyzing thousands and thousands of data points just to answer the question, are your customer complaints spiking? Remember, people might be complaining about your business in a bunch of different areas. They might be posting on Reddit. They might be making TikTok videos about your business. And you can see here, it took about 30 seconds, but it will go and say, okay, I actually took you a very simple question of, are customer complaints spiking? And I went and looked at all the data sources in the last 2 weeks, and I see no one's really talking about your product issues. No one's talking about shipping delays. There's 2 minor pricing inquiries, which is kind of interesting. And it's gone and pulled in the exact words and the comments and everything that people are saying on the internet. So you can obviously go and it's asking like, do you want me to go dig deeper into a specific area? You totally can. And you can go and have some fun with your very familiar business Copilot to ask any question you might have. And we'll get back to why this is super powerful as you try and do some root cause analysis. But very familiar, but now aware of your entire business, all of your competitors, and all of the data. Okay, so that's kind of like what I like to say level 1. Now, let's say you want to go and get something done, which we talked about. We talked about affiliates for your brand. But let's say you want to go and create a marketing campaign. Let's go click on this one. You can see what your AI is doing is you can now use AI to instruct it on what you want it to do for you and let it do some of the hard work. So if I go click on create me an email marketing campaign for my best-selling product and make it a 3 email campaign draft. Okay. And I hit next here. This is kind of cool. Like what your AI is going to do, and it's going to show you in real time, is it's going to go and you can see here that it's going to understand what your intent is. It's going to say, first, I need to understand your brand. And I'm going to go reference all of your brand data. And I'm going to iterate through everything I know about your company, what you're asking of me, any previous things that you've done. I'm going to go do a bunch of research. And I'm going to go and put together a plan for you. So this will take about 2-3 minutes. But as all these demos you've probably seen with AI tools is, instead of waiting 5 minutes here, I'm just going to go back and do one that we did a couple minutes ago. And I'm going to go ahead and click on a Memorial Day campaign. So if you wait a couple minutes, what your AI can do to help your business is it's going to output something that you would pay a consultant to do. It's going to go ahead and give you a campaign concept, right? So it's going to say, hey, look, this is your number 1 revenue driver. You didn't really give me too much instruction. You just said you wanted to promote something with my best sellers. And so I propose that we can go bundle chest lift and facelift as products together. Here's the opportunity. I analyzed all your data. I saw that it generated this much revenue over the last 2 months. Customers are buying these things together. So there might be an opportunity here to really do a virtual bundle and grow your sales. This is where it starts to get really interesting, guys. Like it went ahead and it did audience segmentation for you. What it did is it said, here's a first draft. Here's what I think you can do when targeting specific segments in your Shopify data. It's going to say, let's go focus on the high value customers. You have about 1,200 customers in this group. And I think we can motivate them with a complete summer skincare package. And you can see here that it uses data to do something that would take 3 to 5 hours, which is it pulls all your data in, it filters through all your data, and it gives you, at a glance, very, very quick insights into your data. You can say, look, these are the purchase, like their seasonal purchase behavior that you can take advantage of. Here's the customer journey and segmentation. And you could see here on the right-hand side, you will have a Copilot. So if you say, I don't really like the creative strategy and the campaign theme and messaging, you could say, can you give me one more idea for themes, for a theme? And you can see that your Copilot who's helping you build this creative strategy will be able to go and say, okay, let me go and help you solve this problem. Let me go and work with you and say, okay, I'm going to update your plan. I'm going to go and give you a couple different campaign themes and messaging ideas if you don't like this. So you can go back and forth and have this conversation with your Copilot. Think of it as a clear alternative to working with an agency or a consultant, right? So you can see here that there's an alternative theme that we can do, which is here are the key differences. Here's why it works for your audience. And it's like a full-time data analyst that's working for you, right? And so you can see here that you can go back and forth with your Copilot. You can adjust the plan. You can, export it and share it with your team if you want to, but you have control over different themes and different messaging. It's going to go ahead and show you the channel mix and creative direction. It's even going to go ahead and help you with creating some of these concept emails. So you can see here that it's gone and said, looking at all your data, I would send this at Friday at 5 p.m. to all of your active customers with this subject line and this preview, right? And it's going to give you some control. You can go and add in your links, et cetera, et cetera. It's going to give you an SMS campaign. It's going to give you ideas for a social media campaign to supplement your marketing campaign. And you can see that it's gone and not done all the hard work for you necessarily end to end, but it's taken a huge chunk of the planning work and done that for you. So here's an example of how you can use AI to really get ahead, right? Where you don't have to use it to solve all of your problems, but you could say, look, I'm trying to create a comprehensive marketing strategy. It's probably going to take me a couple hours. Why don't you go and help me with a first draft of it? And then I'll go work with you to make the edits, right? Maybe it's metrics that I want to track. Maybe it's something else. So before I go on to another plan, I'm going to pause and see if there's any questions on using AI to help you with the strategy and the marketing portion of your business. So I'm going to pause here, and I'm going to, before we jump into the other agents, I want to make sure that we pause and answer any questions here.
And then we can dive in a little bit deeper. And so Sonia had a question that's maybe worth addressing. So as for sourcing, let's say I want to create some branded items for my podcast, like coffee mugs, candles, etc. Would the agent be able to find me best sources worldwide and show me a selection to choose from before I purchase? So going just top down.
Yeah, great question. So let's jump into the hub, and I'll give you, Sonia, I'll give you a couple of different ways that you can both leverage AI in different ways to get your answer. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. Here we go. So there's a couple ways you can think about it. Let's start with the most basic. Let's say you want to go find and I'm going to go back to the base on which Pietra is built, right? Let's say you want to go find suppliers to make mugs for your brand, right? Or for your podcast. Remember that Pietra has a factory directory. And so the reason our AI agents are so powerful is because if you click into a factory directory, and let me actually go to a production build here. If you click into the factory directory, you could see that there's a ton of factories that you can get access to. So if you want to look for mugs, right, like ceramic mugs, you will have access to a full factory directly of tens of thousands of factories that work with some of the best brands in the world to make mugs, right? And you can imagine that you can always click in and you can go and chat directly or submit a project directly to this factory, right? They're making mugs for people all around the world. You saw over time it was they were making mugs for Walmart, but you get access to all these factories. And if you go over to this private label products, you can go and find a bunch of mugs just like you would somewhere else on the internet. And you can go order a sample or go contact this factory and say, hey, can you go customize these for my business? Okay, so this is kind of like the interesting non-AI world, but very, very useful and powerful. But I click on the sourcing button there, and I say to someone, hey, I want to create a very interesting ceramic mug, but I don't want to do any of the work. I don't want to search and talk to a bunch of factories. Is there a way that AI could deploy itself and go do that work for me? So I'm going to click on Use Your Sourcing Agent. And you could see that AI has been infused into this product where you can go and deploy an agent to find you products, which is very, very exciting. So let's say that you can use a product spec that you already have. You can have a reference product. But let's say I want to make a white ceramic mug, okay? And I'm going to click this button here to help AI refine my idea because I think that this is a pretty high-level request. So let's see if AI can go and help me out a little bit because I'm trying to make a pretty cool mug. So you can see here that I ask AI, okay, I'm trying to make a white ceramic mug. It gives me some ideas for this ceramic mug. So let's make this one. Let's do a variant on a white ceramic mug from high-end fired stoneware, but I don't really like stoneware. So let's go with logos all over it, right? Printed. And then it has a bunch of these specs. You can see here what I did is I just said, okay, agent, I know nothing about this, but I can't actually go and talk to factories that work with Walmart if I don't have, any type of product brief or specs. So you could see here what the AI is going to do. And one of the most interesting uses is instead of going and hiring a consultant or an agency, it's going to say, let me work with you as a consultant so we can get through and create a product brief that you can submit to these factories. So you can see here that you can go and chat with your copilot, and it's going to go make you a product brief. And you can ask a question to an agent anytime. So once we're done with that, we're going to go and review and say, you go find me factories in the world that I might be able to work with. I've done the hard work and with you, but like now go and reach out to them. So if I was to say, what is my intended use? The AI said, look, you can probably pick between casual dining and a promotional product. And you know what? Like, this is a promotional product. We talked about it, right? You could say, awesome. Like, let's go lock that in. Let's say that this was going to be used for corporate gifting. So let's just go office and, it's going to go finish the task. It does one at a time. So you could see here that it's gone and said, hey, here's everything I know about ceramic mugs. You're probably going to want to ask me some questions. And I'll walk you through how to build a product brief. But let's say you don't know like the differences between some options. So you can ask the AI to tell you more about this. Get educated. These are things that a factory owner will want you to know before you talk to them. And what a consultant or an agency would say, I'm a professional. You should pay me because I can give you these answers. Here you'll have the ability for the AI to help you get educated. And so I saw one of the questions was, does this help with pre-product companies? Of course it does. Instead of going right to a consultant or an expert, you now have an expert in your pocket. And you don't have to spend hours and hours on Google, for example, trying to find the exact right answer with your exact product for your business. And you can go back and forth with your AI. So let's say you like this spec and you're saying, you know what? I want to make this in 30 to 45 days. I want a custom sample made for $150, which is pretty standard. And I want the production cost from my factories to actually be $2 because I want to maybe sell this for 10, 15 bucks, right? A healthy margin. Now what you could do is you can hit this review and find factories button. And you could see that the AI said, okay, here's all your specifications. I'm going to go find factories for you that meet this specification. So let's say this is for my product or my podcast called Pietra's podcast. Okay. I'm going to hit this button and say, reach out to factories. Here's where the magic really begins. So I'm not going to upload anything. If I had any documents, I could have, but just to show kind of the group, the power of AI here. What is happening is what you just saw the AI do is it does something that would take you months to do, which is it went and searched 42,000 factories to find factories that in your price point, you can use to make these products. And you could see that they're all around the world. There's a fair bit of them in China, of course, but you get some France in here. And if you, refine your criteria, you could say, hey, I just want to find people that are in the US, et cetera. But the important thing here is you're just looking for someone to go do the work that a consultant or an agency would do. So you can see this button here, automatically request quotes for me, which we'll talk about what that does. Or you could send an email to my own factories. So let's say you're trying to speed up your workflow. You're trying to say, I want to get all these quotes, but I have like 100 factories that I found or I bought off the internet or they're mine that I've been working with for the last 10 years. You can now go do something like, let me go and upload my own CSV of my factories and go do quote gathering for me by email. It's just like the little bit of work that you'd want to do or you wouldn't want to do, the agent can do for you. So coming back to I'm not going to click reach out to factories for me, because if I did, what would happen is it would truly go and reach out to factories for me and have a conversation on my behalf, which is a pretty cool thing. I'm going to see if I can simulate that and show it to you guys. But it will actually go and reach out to these different factories for you and email you saying, hey, I've done some work for you. Here's the quotes that I've pulled back from a factory. So think about the power of AI in this world where it's doing the busy work for you. You're in full control. You could always just go to your factories, or you could say, you go find the factories somewhere in the world. And the beauty of all of this is I'm going to cut over and show you kind of what it looks like. Is you could see that in my inbox, it will go start having conversations with these factories for you, and only pull you in once the agent knows that it's worth your time to jump in, right? So it's going to go do all like the, hey, have you read my product brief? Do you know my specs, etc. And when it's ready for you, it's going to email you and say something like, hey, I found a factory owner who's ready to jump on a Zoom with you. I've confirmed that they can do your product. Do you want to go set up a call with them? And so it took something that an agency or a consultant would do over the course of a month or 2 months. And you could see that the agent went and did a bunch of that work for you. It went and contacted by phone a bunch of these factories in Colombia, in China, in Spain, in India, in Vietnam. And all it's going to do is it's going to email you back saying, hey, I finally got someone on the phone that wants to do this project with you. Don't worry about searching the marketplace. Here's the product brief that I sent them. Let's just jump on the phone and close the deal. So coming back to the original question of where can AI help you, where the industry is going, it always comes back to, are you doing work that is not leveraged work? And can you deploy a worker that costs cents every day to do that work for you, so you can jump in as a business owner or as a team and focus on that 25 to 30% of work every day that is actually meaningful? And can you get someone else to go do these, outbound messages and surfing the web for and the marketplace for the right factories? All right, so that's a big one on the sourcing side. I think it's super exciting for you guys to get your hands on it and try. But let's open it up to questions before we go into maybe 2 or 3 more different agents.
So why don't we do one question on sourcing, just to wrap things up there, and then we can do another question that's maybe a good transition into another agent. And so Dave asked the question of, say I've already created a product, I'm looking to refine and perfect it with 2 or 3 suppliers that I have. Can I use AI to take over sourcing from where I left off, from negotiations to design and to kitting? So talk a little bit about how it fits into existing workflows today.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to jump into the product, and I think Cameron also had a very similar sentiment here. I could see in the stream of, you guys have done such a hard work getting a factory, and you build this relationship with them. Now, what's the best way to work with them, right? You might not always want to get new people, but can we get more efficient? Remember, Pietra allows you to connect and bring on and work with your own factories at 0 cost. So everything you see here, I'm actually going to jump into my account here. I'm going to share my screen, and I'll answer it by showing instead of telling. You can see here that underneath your sourcing home, you're going to see a button called My Suppliers. And you can go and connect your suppliers to the platform. And it's very simple. It's free for everyone. If you go connect suppliers, what's going to happen is your suppliers are going to be able to sign up. They're going to be private just for you. And you're then going to be able to use any of Pietra's services like storage, fulfillment, freight, any of the AI design tools, any of the AI copilots directly with your factories. And it's perfectly private to you. They're not going to go onto the marketplace. It's free to invoice. It's free to chat with them. And what it does is it allows you to unlock some of these AI workflows. So I'm going to go into here, like any conversation. This is like a testing link, but let's put it here, right? You could see here that I can then start going and allowing the agent to start interacting with my supplier. You can see here, there's a testing link. So I want to make sure that it's not live to any factories. But what's happening here is these agents are going to be able to communicate just like you saw with your factories. You're going to be able to do things like create quality assurance templates. You're going to be able to book freight, and all the things that we talked about, from invoicing to orders and shipments to communicating with your supplier to uploading your own lists to requesting a new product brief or running an RFP. All of that will be available to you through this My Suppliers button once your factory accepts. And everything you see here, right, comes from, you always have access to the broader market. And then you can use any of the invoicing tools, order shipment tools, et cetera, with your own suppliers. And you can see, like, if you just wanted a place to centralize all the communications, all of the invoices, you wanted your suppliers to get paid out daily in local currency, all the things that we're not going to talk about today that Pietra does, all completely free if you have your own factories. Cool. And then on the other side, I think just really quickly, we've done a good job here of making sure that, let's say you wanted to design and source new products, but you just wanted to work with your factories. You could see here that you're coming back to that same flow, which is you can ultimately just say, hey, I've done the product brief part with AI, but I want you to send an email from my email account. I want you to talk to my factories only. And so you get the benefit of all this AI, but you can go ahead and submit it directly to your own factories. So it's all connected, and we give you a free way for you to connect your factories to be a part of that ecosystem. All right.
Ro, this is awesome. Maybe in just the interest of time, knowing that we have 10 minutes on the clock, want to go through one or two last use cases to wrap things up. And then maybe in the last 2 to 3 minutes, we'll take a last couple of questions and then just talk with folks about how they can get early access.
Yeah. Okay. So the first part was, sorry, you cut out a little bit.
No worries. The first was, if there's any other final use cases we want to go through, or if we want to show one final example to folks, I think we can squeeze in one more example. And then the last 5 minutes, let's just talk about next steps.
Yeah. So let's talk about a couple things that will be most important for brands that are just getting started, that will get tremendous value from it. Or from the platform. So if you scroll past these agents that have these nice, beautiful tiles, I'm going to go ahead and show something that everyone can use right away. So the first one is an agent that can be deployed, that we call them, they're always on. These AI assistants that are always on. Many brands ask, if you're pre-product market fit, or you're pre-product or pre-launch, can you actually use these agents to do something super productive? And so I'm going to take 30 seconds to show you that you really, really can. So if you wanted to, for example, track your industry, monitor competitors in this space, or find new customers, I'm going to go ahead and show you. Click one of these buttons that can be set up. And let's say I want to track or monitor my competitors. If I click on this button, you could see here what's going to happen. And let's go over to like Patchology or something like that. It's going to take a minute, but what your AI agent is doing is it's tracking. It has the ability to 24/7 track not only your competitors and what they're posting, but help you get insight on the industry and customers with things like categorizing: are people complaining about shipping issues, product issues? What are the things that people are saying about this industry or this product? And it's going to go ahead and deploy itself and give you daily summaries. So if you're interested in getting customer insights, what's working in the industry, what's working for a customer group, what's working for a brand, you can now go and deploy these agents to do a lot of this data analysis and research for you. It's something that you can get immediate value from, whether you're a scaled up brand looking to monitor your own brand reputation, or you're someone who's like, what's happening in the industry, right? What are people saying about these products? What products are they liking? Are they hating? You can go and customize your dashboards. You can tell the agent, hey, here are the things I want you to monitor every day. And a really, really powerful tool to give you the information you need. So that's the first thing. Okay. I think everyone should always have this notion of understanding their competitors, understanding the industry, et cetera. And this normally would cost, several $1,000s to set up. or you're probably paying a consultant, but now you get to set it up for free. So that button here is going to be called UGC monitoring. The second one I want to get to, and I saw this in the chat thread, is every business has access to a full fidelity AI-powered content generation suite. So you could think of this as Pietra's role in the ecosystem is to give you access as a member to the best of the AI tools out there. And so if you're looking to create a product image, whether it's a lay flat, whether it's a lifestyle photo, whether you want to animate a product, we give you the ability to connect your product catalog. So I'll give you an example of something I did a few minutes ago. Let's say you connect your website and it pulls in this product photo that you've taken and you love it. All you have to do is go and say, I want to create some content, and it'll give you the AI-powered tools to help you go create content. So let's say I want to take that video and animate it, which I did a couple minutes ago. It takes about 5 minutes. You can go and click that button and say, you know what? Go animate this static image from my website. And you can see here that it will go and create a nice video that you can use in SMS and email on your website if you want to. And the other powerful thing that it can do is it starts working with you to suggest ad copy for this product, that this visualization that you've created. So you can see here, it's going to take a minute, but you can go and start using it for ads. You can go and start using it based on your brand. You have videos, you have background tools, you have trying on products on a model. You can make lay flat imagery, which is really, really popular. You can apply swatches to your products, which is really, really popular. And it's an all-purpose tool when it comes to content. So if you're hunting around, what are the different ways that AI can help my business as it comes to content? Go jump into the Content Studio and go play around with some of these AI tools. They will allow you to do things like create 25 images very, very quickly based on your own products. And some tools you might like the output of, some tools you might think you don't want to use, but you have all of this in one place for you in just a few clicks. All right. So I really want to squeeze that ink. I think it's super popular for brands of all sizes.
Sweet.
Cool.
Super helpful. Ro, let's 2 minutes power hour through 3 or 4 open questions. And then in the last 2 to 3 minutes, let's talk about next steps. So a couple of upvoted questions. One from Michael. Does this integrate with Shopify?
Yes, it does, to answer very, very, very quickly. So let me go ahead and show you in 30 seconds the power of a Shopify integration. And we encourage everyone that tries out AI assistants to connect their Shopify accounts. It's the best way to get value from AI assistants today. So let's take 20 seconds and jump into the Creator Hub. You could see that we talked about AI assistants, and I'm going to go take 10 seconds and click on this button called Brand Vault. This Brand Vault is what gives your AI access to the information to make it very smart. So if you want to go ahead and start training your AI, go in and click on Brand Vault and connect your Shopify. Okay. There's going to be instructions on how you can go and connect all your data. I would also encourage you to go connect your ads data, your Meta, your Google Analytics. And if you're going to be outbounding from your own email, go connect your Gmail. Go ahead and fill out the company information as best you can. And any documents that you might have that you want your AI to learn about, maybe it's brand guidelines, past influencer list, post-purchase surveys, etc. Upload these documents to the company Brand Vault, as you can see here. And that's the fastest way to get access to the power of the AI. And to come back to the question, it all starts from sales data. So real-time access to sales data through Shopify is a first-party connection. If you don't use Shopify, that's okay. Just go and export your sales and upload it into the additional brand data document section here. A lot of people do that. If you're an Amazon seller, Etsy seller, eBay seller, still get value from this, but just go ahead and hit this button with your sales data from a CSV or a PDF.
Sweet. Quick, just 2-second responses. Question from Judy. Can the agent do ads on Facebook? Bro, what are the limitations of where?
Great question. So the short answer to this, because I know we're slow on time, is it won't make purchasing decisions for you. So what it can do is things like go look at all my ads and all my competitor ads, go clone their best ads, go give me some variations in ad copy, go help me plan my budget. But it won't actually do the thing of spending your money for you until you go do that work. So we have designed the agents to not go spend anyone's money without a human doing that last step. This includes on the sourcing side, it will get you to an invoice, but it won't pay for the invoice automatically. We've made a very conscious decision to keep the business owners in the loop when it comes to anything that's going to cost money. So I like to say it will get you to the 1 yard line. It will help you with planning, budgeting, content creation. It will tell you exactly what segments you should use, but then it won't actually go and increase the budget so that it drains your bank account.
Amazing. Final question, and then we'll get to the transition. So one last question from Cameron that's been upvoted a couple of times actually about sourcing. Let's say you are 1 week out from finishing production, for example. Can the sourcing AI chase the factory to make sure that it's on time?
Great question. So the short answer is yes. The more that you use Pietra and the more that your factories use Pietra to message you, the smarter your AI gets. So specifically in this case, when a factory owner is using Pietra and they say, hey, I'm going to make something for you, they invoice you through the platform. On the invoice, it asks them, what's your expected date of delivery? And what your AI agent is going to do and what Pietra does for you is it knows what that date is. And when the date comes 7 days out, it sees that it's still in production, it goes and messages the factory. It goes, hey, you said you're going to deliver within 7 days. Are you still on track for it? Like, should I go tell my person that you're going to be late? So the short answer is the AI is going to be smart. If you turn on these AI agents, the more that you use Pietra and the more of the information that the AI agent has access to, like messaging in the Pietra platform, the smarter it's going to get, and it's going to be able to do a lot more things than just reminding the person to be on time. It might do something like make sure to message a freight provider to say you're going to be late as well, and that they should brace for that. So that's the short answer to that one.
Amazing. And then final question is from Jocelyn, which is a perfect transition. So Jocelyn asked, if you are new to using AI, would you be able to work with a Pietra team member as you get your footing and set up for your specific needs? And so Jocelyn, I can actually jump in here and say, this is all so new. So we actually have a wait list and we want everyone who wants access to Pietra to get a white glove experience. We have close to 1,000 people in waiting, but because you're interested and because you stay to the end, we want to bump you up to the top of the list. And that goes to anyone who's taken the time to out of their day to actually come and join us for the last 60 minutes. And so what we're actually going to do is Pete, who is operating this in the background, is going to pop up a link on the screen where you can click and get priority access. Please, folks, if you're interested in Pietra's AI assistance, click on that link and it'll take you right to a calendar, I believe, where you should be able to book some time with someone from our sales team. You'll probably actually see Ro or myself on those calls.
Yeah, I want to actually jump in. We're not trying to do sales, guys. We really do want you to get onboarded in the best way possible. You'll see me and Prince on almost as many calls as we can fit into our calendar day. Yeah. There is going to be a little bit of training and getting everyone up to speed with AI. So we love just getting in deep in the weeds with your business, showing you the use cases, showing you it's not going to work, what's going to work, and setting you off on to the races.
Sweet. Totally agreed. So please click on the link over there. And then we will actually send out an email after this with a follow-up with another link. And so actually, I'm sorry, this will take you to another screen where you'll answer a couple of questions. And then from there, that is how you'll be able to get in touch with the Pietra team. So we're really excited to have you folks on board. Please join the waitlist. We're trying to work through as many onboardings as we humanly can right now. Like Rose just said, we want to give a really high-touch experience to everyone who is coming on. We want to set you up for success. We want to make sure that your integrations are working. And we want to make sure that these assistants that we've built actually save your businesses time, money, and effort. So you guys can go on those vacations that you've wanted to go on for a while. So.
Right. No more 2 a.m. nights is what we say. All right. So guys, don't worry too much about the links. If you missed it, there's going to be an email follow-up. It'll all be there. And most importantly, if you reach out to us on social media, on email, or anything like that, we're watching all of it. So if you need access to us and you want to access this platform, do not hesitate to reach out. It's at Shop Pietra on all platforms. And, there's a lot of you guys and we're trying to work our way through, but please do not hesitate to reach out. We will try our best to prioritize everyone we possibly can.
Amazing. And thanks to everyone who jumped on.
And to Cameron, the answer is yes. I think that's like if he remembers, I am the same person, but we won't talk about that this webinar.
Wonderful. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for hopping on.
Thank you. Bye.